Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering Pricebook Advanced. This webinar will cover Pricebook options, how to use a Pricebook if you have no pricing in your system, how to use the QuickBook item list if you're syncing to QuickBooks, how to create flat rate products with bundles. We'll go over the Profit Rhino flat rate add-on subscription as well as the Pricebook Digital subscription if you are interested in those. And we'll talk about updating your pricing strategies and visuals, invoice options when you're actually creating your invoices, and some job form settings. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you'll get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM. Now, as a disclaimer, today's session that you will see is an advanced training. If you are interested in looking at our beginner training, you can just log in to your wexfsm.com account, go to the Help Center in the bottom right, and go to Video Courses and Webinars. You can either sign up for a live session like today, we do a Pricebook Basics session, and you just click on this image that will take you to the calendar and you can find the date that works for you. Otherwise, you can scroll down and we have courses here. These are video courses. I would recommend watching the Build and Manage Pricebook right here. And you can also watch webinar replays. So the basics is down here, Pricebook Basics. And after today, I will also upload the advanced version right here. But today is the advanced version, and the very first thing that we're going to do is go to an invoice. I have just gone to my customer. I created a job and created this invoice. And now that we are here, a lot of people don't know this, I don't think. This may not be as common, but a typical scenario when using your price book is you would either manually add all of your price book items and you create your categories and you build your price book in WEX FSM, and then you're able to access that here when you click add item. And so, you have your price book here and all your price book items are in here. But let's say there's a couple scenarios where either you don't have time, you don't have a lot of price book items, maybe you don't have any, and you don't have time to sit and create your, each individual line item one by one over a long period of time. You're ready to start selling right now. When you're on a proposal or an invoice, you can actually build your price book as you go while you are making your job forms. And to do this, you will actually click on price book folders. And so just to reiterate, when you're on the invoice, you hit add item and go to price book folders. If you've created categories, AKA folders, you will see those here. But if not, you will see just new product, add new product. This button is the same button from the My Pricebook page to create new items to add to your Pricebook. So we will click New Product, select which type of product you would like to create. Let's say we're going to make a single part only. And now you're creating the item. You can just put in the name. Let's say we'll make it a general part. A pro tip, I do recommend, even if you are going to build your price book out as you go like this, I do recommend at least going and setting up your categories. That way, when you're on the invoice making the product, you can save it into a folder and this will keep you organized. So, well, I already have a general part one. Let's say we're making general part two, and I'm going to add this to my general parts folder. And then if you're syncing to QuickBooks, you will select your income account And now you get detailed. Add your descriptions. What pricing strategies do you want available? Put in your cost. Maybe this item costs you $100. Your markup will auto apply, and this will be the standard price for this item. Now, when I hit save, that is going to create a product and add it to my price book. And then I'll hit done, and it has added it to the invoice. And now I do another job. I add more items. Those are all being used from the add product button. And so as you do jobs, you're just building your price book as you go. Another scenario would be you are on an invoice, you don't want to back out of this, but you see there's an item missing that you should have in your price book, but it's not there. So you want to add that. So that would be another scenario. So you have full capability to create price book items from the job forms while you're creating proposals and invoices. Now, of course, you can always go to more applications, price book, my price book, and click add product from here to get the same modal. So this is just the native way that you would build out your pricing from scratch, but you can do it from the invoices and proposals as well. Next is using your QuickBooks item list. And we're going to talk a little deeper about the item list from QuickBooks. If you are syncing from QuickBooks, or if you're syncing to QuickBooks, you will see an option here when you go to select items from your price book, and it will say from your QuickBooks item list. Now, the sync, once you have finished onboarding, you turn on the sync and you're officially syncing the two systems. This will automatically show up here. And the pros, the reason why this is maybe a benefit is this could save you a lot of time from having to manually build out your price book in WEX FSM. If you've been using your QuickBooks item list for years and that's what you want to use, that's great. All your items will show right in here, and you can just search for the item that you want. Let's say, roofing and sliding, or sorry, siding, and it shows up here. And so that is a benefit. It can save you time. You already have your item list, and you can update the name, the description, the pricing in QuickBooks, and that will sync up to WEX FSM. Most items like customers, invoices, payments, those are a one-way sync. You cannot edit them in QuickBooks after you make the switch. However, QuickBooks item list is a two-way sync item. So make your edits in QuickBooks how you always have, and those will update here. Now, something, I guess a drawback maybe of using the QuickBooks item list is that there's no place in WEX FSM to like manage and organize and update your QuickBooks item list. And so if you decide, I like my item list, but I'm not really wanting to use this anymore, I'd rather use the WEX FSM price book, you can manually pull in items from your QuickBooks item list and add them into your WEX FSM price book. To do this, let's go to more applications, price book, my price book. And you will click add product to add a product. And you will select either a single part only, labor service only, bundle, multi-item group, or a discount. Let's use single part only as our example here. And let's say that there is a part that I know is in my QuickBooks item list. I want to use that and all the information that comes with that and the pricing to use that as a template to pull in and create a WEX FSM price book item. You can do this right here. It says search for existing part, and you just enter in the name of the part in your QuickBooks item list. And then down below, we can see right here, this is a fan motor. And if you look at the source, you can see the QuickBooks item list is the source. So that is being pulled from our QB item list. Select the item that you want to pull in. And now anything that you had in terms of product information will pull in. So we can see the name, the pricing. If you had, a description, you would see that here. And then you can now organize this item into where you want this to go. Let's say that we want that to be a general part. Update as needed and hit save. And so now that can save you a lot of time to create and build price book products. And the benefit of having those items now in your WEX FSM price book is you have a dedicated page where you can update and manage all of your pricing. And you can create the categories, aka the folders and subfolders, to stay a little more organized. So that's up to you. If you want to just use your item list as is on proposals and invoices, go for it. If you would rather have a little more organization and kind of pull everything into your WEX FSM price book, you can do that as well. Next, let's talk about creating bundles. And more specifically, you can create flat rate products very easily with the bundle feature that we have in the price book. Same page here, we will go to, more applications, price book, my price book, and select add product. And then we will select product bundle multi-item group. Now, in order for the bundle to work, you do need to first have individual price book items. Think of a bundle kind of like, a basket, and I'm taking individual pieces and putting them into the basket to create that bundle. If I don't have those individual pieces, I won't have anything to pull in to create the bundle. So you do need to have, you'll have the individual item and the bundle, and those will both exist at the same time. So just a kind of a disclaimer there. But if you have items, you will just search for them. So let's say we're going to pick all of our parts, and we have our time and materials to create a flat rate item. So we're picking our materials first, and that, let's go with general part. Select them. You can select multiple as well. If you're building out a system, let's say, you can pull in all of the individual parts. And then if you don't have an item, you can just hit add new part. And now we're back to just creating a new price book product. Create that product. It will add and save into your main price book. And then you'll see that show here, and you'll be able to select it right after. And now let's pick some labor. So this would be the time portion of the flat rate product, and we'll just add in a general labor here as well. So for our flat rate bundle product here, we have our parts, we have our labor, and we are able to hit create product bundle. Now from here, we are essentially taking multiple items and making one product. So now we are naming and describing and setting up that one bundle product. Maybe this is like a big service that we're doing for someone. And then we'll want to organize this. I went ahead and created a bundles folder so I can find all my bundles. And then add your description. You can update the total price. Let's say, the price of these items below, which this is nice. You can see the individual items and their details. You can update the pricing of them individually. where you want those to sync. And as you update those, it will update the standard pricing here. Or you can do it the other way around. If I want to update this to, let's say, just $1,000 even, it will then adjust your markup, and this will be the price that we would charge the customer. Now we have our items selected. For you, you will be able to go in and see all of the individual items and details about them. But the customer is just going to see we're doing a big service and it's $1,000 and go ahead and pay your bill. Now we will hit save, and that will save the item in our price book where we told it to go in categories. So if you do flat rate pricing or you assemble bundles or you have a ton of different things you need to remember in terms of the services provided, but you just want your customer to see a single product, that is where you would use product bundles. All right, so let's go back to our invoice. And you may have noticed here, this says from flat rate price book. So from Pricebook, that's our integrated WEX FSM price book. The QuickBooks item list is being synced in from your QuickBooks item list. But we also offer an add-on subscription with Profit Rhino. Profit Rhino will take your region-specific pricing and give you a price book, load a price book into your system that is fully decked out with product names, product numbers, descriptions, pictures, can save you a ton of time. And if you use flat rate pricing as your standard pricing, this may be an option that you would want to use. From here, you have your price book items where you can search. But if I'm being completely honest, this would really only be if you know exactly what you're looking for. If I type the word, coil, let's say, there may be 100 different types of coils that show up because it will search anything that has that term in it. So for the search, I would recommend adding in the actual model number. And then that kind of pinpoints the exact unit that you're looking for. But what you'll most likely be doing is using the flat rate folders. So if I click flat rate folders, when you sign up for Profit Rhino, you'll be able to select which industry price books you want added to your system, and you'll see those here. So if I'm working in the HVAC industry, maybe I really like this HVAC folder, you click in. All of these have images. It makes it very easy to go through. And now we're just shopping for what we need to charge the customer. Let's try a blower motor. Select the item that you want and add. And just the massive benefit of this is once this is added, it's less work you have to do. The description is there, the title, the pricing is good to go. However, if I want to make an edit, let's say, I need to edit the title, the description, the pricing, whatever it is, you can make those edits and it will be unique for this job form, but not update my default pricing from Profit Rhino. If you are interested in adding Profit Rhino, if that's something that you do not have yet, you can learn more about that by going to the Help Center. Go to where it says Help, and you can literally just type Profit Rhino. And then all of our learning articles on Profit Rhino will be here, and that is a great way to learn more about that feature. If you're like, this is great, I'm trying to get this loaded right now, and you're ready to sign up, you can go to Settings, Subscriptions, and then Additional Products. And right here, Flat Rate Price Book. If you're not signed up yet, you would see the red plus button. Once you sign up for that, it will allow you to select which industry price books you want added. Again, a huge time saver. You don't have to manually build out your price book. You can just use the flat rate price book that they load for you. But you can get very detailed with your labor rates if you are seeing that the pricing that came in from Private Rhino isn't quite where you are with what you charge. This is where you can edit those. And you can make pricing for commercial jobs and residential jobs, and you can set the cost and rate for both of those job types. And then, so that is if you are going to use the Profit Rhino flat rate price book. Now, recently we have come out with another new add-on feature called Pricebook Digital. And this is a way to add Pricebook items from your supplier and have those loaded directly into your system. And then it also comes with proposal templates that you can just copy those templates over, and the work is already planned out and built for you with pictures. There's proposal comparison templates as well. And we're going to go into kind of how you would use this as well. So for the Pricebook Digital option, which is different from the flat rate pricing, Pricebook Digital will look at your region, your area, and see who you are purchasing items from. And then those suppliers will then, or I guess that distributor in your area that you are actually purchasing from will send us the pricing information, and we get that loaded into your WEX FSM price book. So it becomes a native price book with all the bells and whistles and features that WEX FSM offers with our price book, but with your actual pricing tailored from your market, your suppliers. When that's loaded, so if you sign up, you click the plus button here, you fill out the information, and then that will be added to your monthly subscription. Once those are loaded, there's kind of two main things that are loaded into your system when looking at Pricebook Digital options. And that would be go to More Applications, Pricebook, My Pricebook, and then you will see those as folders. So let's say that you purchase from Daikin. You would be able to see that Daikin folder has been added in, and inside of that folder would then be equipment, bundles, matchups, and those are going to be items that are just pre-built and set, and you can start using those right away on your job forms, your proposals and invoices. It also will add a proposal template customer into your system that will have built out, pre-built job forms that you can use as well. To use those or to view those, we would type the word proposal. And then from here, we can see, oh, sorry, template. There we go. So you type the word template and you'll see when you sign up for Pricebook Digital, uh, they will load this and create the customer and create all the folders, and this will just be pre-done. So when you search for template, you will see this is the Daikin Northeast template. So let's go to that customer profile, but it's not a customer, we're not servicing Daikin Northeast. That's our supplier. So just realize this is just a way that this is added in the system to make it easier for you to use. On this customer template page, there will be jobs, and each job will have templates for different system types. And when you're signing up, you'll be able to determine which of these types of things you want in your system. If you click into those template jobs, you will be able to see pre-built proposals in your system. You can click on the PDF icon, which will then show you what the actual document looks like. And again, names, descriptions, pricing, images, it's all there. And then to use this, if I wanted to use one of these proposals, here's what I recommend. A pro tip for using these templates is favorite the ones that you actually want to use. Maybe you don't sell one type of these systems at all or very often. So let's say that this Daikin split dual fuel, we're going to favorite that as a proposal. And if we wanted to, let's say we go to a new customer, we go to create a new proposal, and then we are looking, oh, you know what? That's the wrong thing. I said the wrong thing. Let's get out of here. Forget everything I said the last 20 seconds. Sorry about that. So if you want to use the proposal, so we see that that proposal is already right here. On any job that you're doing for another customer, you will select copy. And then if you favorited that, it will show up here, which there it is. And you will see under customer name, this is from my Daikin Northeast templates. So you know that this is a proposal template from your Pricebook Digital product feature. And you simply click on it. And now it'll copy everything over, make a unique job form for your new customer, and save you a ton of time having to fill out the information. And you can even go in and copy them, update. Maybe this customer has something very special and unique. And then you could use that to copy again. And so from the original document, you do have a home, which would be the proposal templates page. So all of these are your original documents that you will copy from. You can make edits to these if you want, but as I make another document, you could copy that too, and you could copy the next one and the next one. So you can make different variations of these, but you have a really great starting point from the proposal templates customer. All right, and that is Pricebook Digital. Next, we're going to talk about updating your pricing strategies. And so this is something that does have a few caveats. So let's dive deep into this. We're going to go to more applications, Pricebook, pricing defaults. So pricing defaults, we do cover this a little bit in the basics course, but just as a review here. Your system, when you add items from your price book onto your job forms, it's going to take the standard price by default, meaning whatever the cost is of that item, how much you pay for the item, it will apply your standard markup that you can control from here and put out what the customer will pay as the standard price. But then you have some pricing strategies, some different modifiers to your pricing that you can use. The maintenance plan price is going to be for any customer who is a maintenance plan customer. If they're, you sign them up for a maintenance plan, now they become a maintenance plan customer in your system. Any job that you do for them in the future, it will automatically apply the discount from that you have set up here. That is something that's just native to the software. There's no way to update this. If this is something you don't want to use, you can just set this to 0% here. But then you have some modifiers. These are customizable to however you want to use these. The way that this works, our friends and family discount, for example. I have a really close friend of the family. They're basically family. I'm going to do a job for them. And, they always help me out. I'm going to help them out. We're going to give them 15% off. This is where you set up the discount. And then on your job forms, there is a way to select from, you can either from the job or from the proposal or invoices, you'll see these are selectable. If I change a invoice, let's say, from standard price to friends and family, it will update that pricing on that job form and apply the discount to any items in the price book that have this pricing strategy toggled on. And let's kind of look at how this is integrated. So this is the pricing defaults page. This is where you set up your actual defaults. But then you get detailed on how those are applied in the price book when you're creating the items. So we're just going to pop over to more applications, price book, my price book, and let's see how these two pages work together. So I'm just going to open a general part here. When you're creating your price book items, you can turn on or off the pricing strategies here. So maybe for this part, I want all the discounts available. I'm cool with discounting my parts for my customers. And if they're a maintenance plan customer, it'll auto apply the maintenance plan price. If they're a friend of the family in the military, or even doing an upcharge for after hours, having these toggled on means that they are available to select from. So these won't auto apply like the maintenance plan price, but having these toggled on the price book item means that this is available to choose. But let's go to our labor. Let's say I do not want to have any discounts for any labor products that I have. I would just make sure that those are turned off. Then my technician in the field wouldn't even be able to add a discount to that item because it's not going to be an option because we have turned those off. So that's how those two work together. You set your pricing here, and then you determine how that will be available when the product is added to proposals and invoices. Another very, very important thing to know from this page is that, oh, sorry, I forgot. So your labor defaults are also below here. But you'll see in yellow with an exclamation point, it says, any changes made below to the pricing default section will take effect when creating new products in the price book. Existing products in the price book will remain unchanged and need to be updated manually. So what does that mean? If I have an update, let's say that I want to change my markup from 1.5 to, 2. There we go. I just made the change. I'm going to come down and hit save. That will save. Any new item that you add into your price book will automatically default and change to the new pricing model. All of my current or previous items that were in before I made the change will not be updated. They will maintain the pricing from when they were created. That will maintain your historical record of pricing, so you can update prices for the new items coming in. But let's say you do want that to apply, right? Like I'm changing my markup. I want it to apply to my whole price book. If that is what you want, then you will contact customer care. You go to the little smiley face down below here, go to contact support, and then you'll just chat in, let them know, hey, I just updated my parts markup multiplier on my pricing defaults page. I would like my new markup to apply to my entire price book. And the support team will put in a service request for you. And typically that is 1 to 2 business days turnaround time for that to be updated in your system. So that is pricing defaults. Next, let's take a look at how our invoices look, some invoice options we can choose, and we're going to jump back to our invoice. When you are creating your invoice and I'm adding items and I've got my items pulled in from my price book, I am able to choose the pricing strategy while I'm building the invoice from here. So right here in the top right, and we're looking at the desktop version. This is also available from mobile as well. And you click pricing settings, and you can kind of update what this looks like, some visual elements here. So I can change the pricing strategy. Let's say that I want to give them a friends and family discount. We have maintenance plan pricing, which, just for context, if they're a maintenance plan customer, it will show the savings every job, which is really nice for the customer. It's like, hey, by the way, you saved 76.19 today for being part of our Comfort Club plan. And that just builds customer confidence and just lets them know, like, not only am I getting great service, I'm also getting discounts for being a gold member. I'm feeling good. If you do not want them to see the savings here, this will show up automatically to show savings for maintenance plan customers. You can hide this. So, I don't really want this red savings thing here. Go to pricing settings and you will hide the maintenance plan pricing. Now, a detail, this is an important detail. If I hide the pricing and hit update, it will hide the pricing, but it will still put the discount. And so that's just visually taking this away. If you do not want the maintenance plan discount to actually apply, that goes back to what we were saying earlier. You would need to make sure that on that item, the maintenance plan discount is turned off. I have had it before where customer hides the pricing and thinks that they've removed the discount and charged the customer a wrong price. So to avoid that, you just want to make sure you're organized in your price book in the pricing default section per item. But pricing settings, this is where you can hide that. You can also hide line item quantity and prices. Maybe you don't like there's 10 different things that you did. You don't want your customer to see the individual line item quantity and prices. You can just hide that. And line item unit prices as well. You can hide that and hit update. Now, this is something that actually puzzled me in the beginning, but then I was like, okay. Um, so we just hid the quantity, the unit price, hide, right? We hit update, but it's still showing right here. That's because it is still in build mode. It's going to show you here so you have reference for it. But when we click present, you'll notice that that information then is hidden from the customer and it just shows them the total below. Okay. And the final thing that we will cover is some job form settings, and then we'll jump into our Q&A. So get your questions ready. Now, we were just talking about, let's go back to build mode. Individually on each job form, you can do your pricing settings and you can show or hide some of these items visually. But that is not updating the default. So if you're noticing that you're going in and having to hide things constantly, I would just update the actual job preferences, which will then allow you to control how your job forms look at, by default. To do this, we're going to go to settings, jobs, job preferences. The job preferences page will allow you to turn on or off the items that you want to show by default or hide by default. So do you want your customers to see the location name, model number, unit prices, maintenance plan savings, product number, line item amounts and quantities, and billing address name? If these are on, they will show by default on the job forms. If they are turned off, let's say I don't need them to see the location name, you can just turn that off here, scroll down, and hit save. Then when you go on back to your job form, I could have swore I had an invoice open. Here we go. And you go to present, whatever defaults you set, that will just automatically apply, and you don't actually have to go to the pricing settings button and update it manually per job. All right, so that is all the information that we have for today's presentation. I hope you guys learned something. We're going to go to our Q&A now, but I just want to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Pricebook Advanced.